So this year we're really pleased to be offering 5 micro commission grants. 2 are for £500 each, and they're for Stockport based individual artists who want to research and generate some new artwork on a health theme. And the second is 3 participatory arts projects grants, and those are to benefit the health and wellbeing of Stockport residents. So the artist and facilitator, you don't have to be based in Stockport yourself, but the recipients, the participants in your project must be Stockport residents.
My name is Wendy. I'm a printmaker and visual artist from Stockport. My idea was an exploration of the menopause, and the inspiration for the project were these wonderful mid-century Matchbox labels, which have really fabulous, very stylised designs on them. That one informed this one here. The idea was to look at public health messaging, which was often something that these Matchbox labels were used for, as a framework to explore what it was like to go through the perimenopause and menopause today. And it was a very personal project, something that was really close to my heart. So I made a series of prints to wool and to paper, which took some of the visual style or the printmaking methods used on the Matchbox designs, and then interpret them through the lens of modern menopause and what it's like for women like me to go through it. I could not say enough wonderful things about ARC. They've been incredibly good to me, and in terms of my art career, I'm not formally trained. I've always made things, but I've never really took my art seriously until very recently, in the last couple of years. And the opportunities that they give to emerging and baby artists are to be absolutely jumped on and grasped with both hands. They are a wonderful organisation, staffed by incredibly supportive people. I think in my original pitch for the project, I knew what the design source was going to be, so I knew it was going to be these matchboxes, but I didn't know quite how I was going to make the work physically. And in fact, what I pitched was a series of wood cut prints or wood block prints, which was a bit daft of me because I'd never actually done that before. So I did pivot after about a few weeks of thinking, no, actually, I don't know how to do this, and went back to what I already knew, which was printmaking on textiles, and I'm glad that I did that. So I think if you're pitching an idea, having a really clear idea about what your point of view is rather than exactly how it's made is probably a good idea, and it's okay if through the process of making the art that changes. That's probably really obvious to established artists, but it wasn't obvious to me. I think when you're an emerging artist, maybe, well, obviously there's imposter syndrome, and I think everybody has that. And that means there's a tendency when you're pitching an idea or filling out an open call application or whatever it might be, applying for money of any sort, to overpromise and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and actually be realistic about how much work you're going to have to do. I worked, a lot. I took a lot of time making the work, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But obviously, it's a very important practical and financial consideration. So I think being a little bit kind to yourself about what you can actually deliver, and present in an exhibition space, and thinking about how long that work is realistically going to take you. I think the main thing I would want to say is to encourage anyone who hasn't applied for funding before to give it a go. The whole process is such a massive learning opportunity, and because they're such lovely people, you will just learn so much and benefit so much as an artist. And especially for people who are baby or emerging artists, or people who aren't formally trained and haven't done it before, you are the people who should be thinking about applying, because you have an opportunity to learn that, and there's no other way of learning that stuff other than doing it. The way I make work now from a practical point of view, and in terms of just the creative vision for what I'm doing, has changed totally since before I did the exhibition, because if you immerse yourself in this process and you really go for it, it will take you to amazing creative places and bring you joy and long dark nights of the soul. Obviously that's important in art, but yeah, a wonderful, enriching, huge learning opportunity.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Evans and I own Evans Scent Creations. My idea was to create thread journals. So like this, they've all got little miniature embroidery stitches that are memories. And I wanted to run a group that was specifically aimed at people who are living with cancer, receiving treatment for cancer, as well as their friends and family. So the idea behind the project was to get people together to talk about experience past and present, and have a project that they could do while they were sat receiving treatment or recuperating at home, and having a really lovely positive focus to make them feel that bit brighter. So one of the things that worked really well was I actually partnered up with Beechwood Cancer Care, which is part of Stepping Hill Hospital, because they already had a group that they were trying to get going with more creative activities. They wanted to have a bit more of a focus on wellbeing activities. So that worked perfectly with what I was trying to do. So it worked really well having that partnership in place so that we could get in touch with the right people. One of the things that I would improve on for my next project was maybe taking some more photographs, because when you're in the moment, it's quite easy to forget to take pictures and record those lovely moments. My advice when planning this project is just make sure that you choose something that really means something to you. I think that will come across really well to both the participants and also the people that are looking at your bid. I would also make sure that you've got a really good soundboard, whether that be a family member or a friend or a colleague, someone that you can talk through your plan with and make sure that it sounds as exciting to them as it does to you. It is really helpful to have very clear deadlines, so it's great to work with other community groups. However, if you make sure you've got very specific deadlines for when you want participants to be registered, it gives you the opportunity to then go out and find other participants that could make the most of the funding that you receive. Yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you. This was actually the very first project that I received funding for, and as a result, it's lit a massive fire under me. So we've recently opened Self-Care Creative CIC and gone on to receive funding from 4 different providers, including Stockport Town of Culture. So if it's your first project that you're going for, I would say just go for it. And if you love it as much as I do, you're just going to want to do so much more. So good luck.
The deadline to apply is Friday the 3rd of November, so it's not long, but it's also not a particularly long and complex form, and we can offer it in different formats should you need that. All guidance and links to the application form can be found on our website, which is arc-centre.org, and on social media.